Boys and girls, it's time to open the gates of adventure and mystery to the land of Mythaville. Chapter 18, The Noble Ladies. As my eyes blinked up, the blurred faces of Laura and Robert lifted me onto my feet. As they carried me through the goblin forest, a narrow rickety bridge appeared over a dried upstream. Oh my, bring them into the inn pronto, ordered the kind old lady as Robert and Laura brought me into the inn. As everyone inside the place gawked at me, my vision became black again. As I woke up in a cot on the first floor of the inn, my sword and the boat and the brown shack of marble sat next to me. "Si, you're awake again," gasped Laura from the doorway as I ambled out of my cot. I picked up my sword and bagged the marble sack. "Where is Robert?" "Well, I think he went back to," stuttered Laura as I bumbled through a long corridor and into the bar. As people would dance into a young teenage ugliness, Robert sat drinking a cup of tea in the corner. "Robert, where have you been?" I asked as me and Laura sat next to him. As he got down the slightly sweet scented tea, Robert answered, "Well, went back to bury something in the desert." As my head throbbed, the image of a giant vine-covered dragon egg appeared in my mind. I pulled outside. Robert followed me out of the bar and inn. As the name Celeste and the girl in blue appeared in my mind, the pain ceased. As a group of kids played chase with wooden swords, a wooden sign with the name Enormous Wheels was crossed out. Strode through a village that was way more alive than it was previously. A loud voice of a little boy shouted, "I know you, Robert!" The sign turned into a little fairy-blooded boy in faded tin rags, and Alice swooped down, turned back to the engine. "Up! How many times did Mom tell us not to scare people?" "Oh man, you Mom are no fun!" mumbled the little boy as he stormed off. "Yeah, I'll scare you again, Robert," chuckled the same kind of old lady from earlier as he sulk into the alleyway. "Well, the first time he did, but the second time, not that much, Miss Tiflin," said Robert as Sansa turned into a hawk and flew away. "Do you know her, Robert?" I asked as Al was playing with the other kids, chasing each other with wooden swords. "Well, Miss Tiflin did help me out by giving me a map that I buried in the desert earlier," said Robert as Lauren Roval strolled out of the inn and past the bridge. As Miss Tiflin joined the other kids, Robert strolled through the city filled with color once more. Banners and flowers decorated the old gray stone walls, and the kids in dingy gray clothes with lungs out the furry little children. See, like the armored knights stood in the streets. They smiled at them as the bright green castle loomed in the distance. Two castle guards blocked the way. "Excuse me, sir.
I'm King Si."
The distant kingdom and this together as the guards led us through. "Do royal advisors usually betray the royals?" asked Robert as we strolled over the dark red carpet with three feather-stuffed cushioned thrones set at the end of it on the elevated platform. "Si, I had no clue you and your friends were coming," said a familiar voice as the oldest and tallest of the noble ladies appeared from the hallway. "I'm sorry, Samantha, and why are you even here anyway?" I asked as two women stared at each other and lowered their heads. "I'm General Gal's sister, and Bella is his wife," answered Samantha as we followed them down a hallway filled with portraits of the past royals, where the last portrait showed the younger version of Sharon and Roval sitting on their dad's lap. Below the portrait with the words, "In beloved memory of King Raja," carved into the frame. As we crept down a spiral stone staircase and into another dingy and damp dungeon, the hands of the other persons reached out through the black bars. "Please let us out!" pleaded the persons as General Gal stood in the cell at the end of the corridor. "It's crazy and ironic that a man like me will ever be locked down here," mocked Gal, his martial jagged teeth. "If he was such a good kid, what happened to him?" questioned Robert, as Bill tapped on a small black oval mirror. The mirror showed the village of modern brick houses, Samantha stated. "Me and Gal came from the modern world, like the rest of our village, and even you, Si. But that peaceful life couldn't last long," grumbled Gal, as the lunch dragon burnt the village down. The mirror changed to a preteen Gal playing with a group of other kids. The little prince came out of the forest with a frostbite in his hand. A snake slid out of Bella's hands. Two angry men began chasing the beast away. The creature bit Gal on the hand. He froze into a block of ice. "After I thought I had recovered from hypothermia, I vowed to kill all magic creatures in this world!" screamed Gal from behind the bars as the mirror cracked. "Wait, Samantha, did you know about Selena's secret ability?" asked Robert as we followed the two ghosts back towards the stickers. "Well, Selena has a fairy blood that me and Samantha adopted, but we kept it from Gal," said Bella as the brightly red-eyed Gal took the bars from him. "You tricked me into bringing a filthy fairy blood into my home!" growled Gal as he transformed into a raging yak-horned beast. His bear-like claws sliced through the bars. I withdrew my sword. The beastly Gal charged towards me. But ducked behind the stairs. He lifted the sword to my face. Gal jumped over me and up the stairs. I followed the raging beast upstairs. The portraits were torn off the wall, and claw marks shredded through the hallway. We followed the path of destruction. Robert lagged behind us as the terrifying creature blew the doors off his hinges. A fairy-blooded girl and boy shot beams of fire and water at the beast. As two opposing powers collided, a mist covered the castle. As Alexandra's eagle form blew the mist away with a gust of wind, the beast darted into the alleyway. As Gal ran into the portal gate, a flash of light covered the alleyway. As light faded, Gal's cursed form was gone. I know that Traven will never want to lead a town that hates him, said Prince Ravel as he and Laura strolled over the old rickety bridge. Sorry, what the heck happened here? Excuse me, Laura asked as they glanced back at the trail of destruction. Oh, General Gal turned into a beast and broke out of the dungeon. Bill, Robert, Sandra, and some of the other fairy blood children carried the ruins to the portal gate from the alleyway. I'm sorry, Miss Sifflin, about your home being destroyed. I uttered as Sandra shifted back into her human form. Nonsense, boy. You and Jonas can easily rebuild and discuss the past. Asserted Miss Sifflin as the fairy blooded boy set the remains of the portal on fire. Mom, we can rebuild our homes, said Sandra as the other fairy bloods joined in. Well, that's a great idea, but the ends cannot hold all of us, said Miss Sifflin as Up changed from a wooden sword and back to a human. Don't worry about that, miss, whispered Roval as he stepped up and in front of the castle. If there's anyone that doesn't have a home yet, they can live with me, announced Roval as other fairy bloods flooded into the doorless castle. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, buy my books, and have a magical day!